Hello everyone, welcome to the lab of heat and mass transfer in the Department of Mechanical Engineering, UET Lahore New Campus. Today we are going to perform the experiment on lab session 1 and we will learn that how we can perform the experiment on the operators of linear heat transfer unit. So the name of the experiment is to apply the Fourier rate equation for steady flow of heat through plane solid materials. It has two objectives. One is to identify a given sample by determining its thermal conductivity, and second is to measure temperature distribution through a uniform plane wall and analyze the effect of change in heat flow. Now we will see how we will perform this experiment and to get the required results. The apparatus we will use in this experiment is linear heat transfer unit, and its code is H111A. So also we will use many other parts including hydraulic bench. We have specimen of different materials. They are of brass, aluminum, stainless steel. Main digital control panel. This is a main console and some temperature sensors. So now we just will learn what is the Fourier law equation. If we go through the theory, you can see this equation. This is Q is equal to Ka over delta X into T2 minus T1. This is what is called as Fourier law. In this equation, this Q is heat, the rate of heat transfer. This A is the area, delta S is the thickness of the material or sample you are using, and delta T or T2 minus T1 is the difference of temperature. So this K, this is a thermal conductivity. This is constant, which is called as thermal conductivity. So now the main idea of the experiment I will explain here. It is the schematic diagram of our apparatus. You can see on its upper part, there is heater, which provide the voltage and current, and heat will flow downward. On the lower part of this apparatus, we will provide a continuous supply of water, and due to this water flow, this region will remain cold and the upper part will remain hot. So between this hot and cold part, we will place our sample. This sample, its thickness is delta X, and its area is A. Its area is given 0.00049 meter square, and its length or thickness, this is also given 0.030 meter. So you can see that there are 6 different temperature sensors. These are our thermocouple, and these are represented by T1, T2, T3, then T6, T7, T8. T1, T2, T3, they are in the hotter region, and T6, T7, and T8, they are in the colder region. So our first task is to get the readings. We will start the apparatus. We will provide this voltage and current from the hot side. Heat will flow, and we also will provide the water supply on this cold side, and we will measure the values of this voltage, current, and the temperature. These the temperatures of all of these parts, mean from T1 to T1, T2, T3, T6, T7, and T8. So this is the table. You can see that on this table, this is the one column of voltage, and then current, and corresponding to these voltages and current, there are the values of temperatures T1, T2, T3. We will leave the T4 and T5, and there will be reading of T6, T7, and T8. And on the lower row, there is a distance of all these temperature sensors from the T1. So these temperature distances are given. So this is our main table. We will use this main table to get all the readings, and then we will use these readings for our calculation, to calculate the different values of thermal conductivity, and heat rate of heat flow, and all other values. So now our next task is to we will learn that how to perform the experiment on the apparatus. So this is the apparatus we are using for our experiment 1. The name of the apparatus is linear heat conduction unit. So this is the upper part of the apparatus, and there is also a lower part of the apparatus. So you can place this upper part on the lower part, and you will rotate the knob on its top, to close the assembly. So now he has just opened the assembly and he has placed this sample. We have different samples made up of brass, aluminum, and stainless steel. So at this current moment, we don't know about the name of sample. So he has closed the unit. Now on the upper part, there is a heater, and on the lower part, we will provide the flow of water by using the hydraulic bench. So he is just rotating the knob to fix the assembly, and now it is the main switch, and he is attaching this main switch to the main unit. And you can see this is the main unit from which we will measure the value of voltage and current. And now he is placing the different thermocouples switches on the sockets of main console. And some numbers are written on all of these thermocouple switches, and he is placing all those switches into the respective sockets with respect to their numbers. So he is just reading their number and he is just placing the switch into its respective socket. So this is the main console. We will read the value of voltage and current and different temperature values from this main console. So he has attached all all the switches of thermocouples to read the value of all the temperatures. So now he is just attaching the hydraulic bench with the unit with the operators. So he will provide the flow of water, so its bottom part will remain cold, and from the top part we will provide the heat. So after some time it will be a steady flow of heat from the hotter to colder region, and then we will measure the temperature at different points by using all of these thermocouples, and we will read all of the values on the main console. So he is just uh, switching the hydraulic bench and water flow in on position. So from this knob he will adjust the flow of water. So now water is flowing. You can see, so there is a complete water circle on the unit. Now he has switched on the main console unit, and now we can see the reading on all of these digital screens. So now we have one voltage value, one current value in ampere, and different temperatures value which are shown in the red line. So this is all the operators that is working here. So now we will take the readings. We will adjust the value of voltage, that is 143 volt, and the current is 0.116 ampere. And you can see this red knob, he is just rotating the knob and he is getting the values of different temperature sensors. I mean, this time this is T3 and now this is T4. And then he will further rotate the value, rotate the knob, and he will get the value from T1, T2, T3, and so on, whatsoever the values we need for our calculation. Now the next reading we will change the voltage, and now it will take 10 minutes to stabilize the voltage. Now it is 189 after 10 minutes, and the current is 0.193 ampere. So now we will again measure the values of all temperatures with respect to this voltage, 188 or 189 volts. We will rotate the knob of this main console, and we will measure all the temperatures T1, T2, T3, and T4 or 6, and so on. So he has rotated the voltage knob again, and now after 10 minutes the voltage is stabilized. This is 232 volts. So after when you will take a new reading of voltage, you will have to wait for 10 minutes to get it stabilized. So now we have taken all the readings for all the voltage. So now after coming back to our main manual, we have got the readings from T1, T2, T3 and so on T8 voltage and current. We have all the distances of these temperatures thermocouple from each other. So now we will calculate the further values. That was a schematic diagram. Area of the sample is given to us and the length or thickness of the sample is also provided to us. So now our main target is to calculate the value of thermal conductivity, and this is the formula for thermal conductivity. You can see this is K is equal to Q into delta X over area into delta T. So for this purpose, we need to calculate this Q and this T hot phase and T cold phase. So for the Q, we have the formula that is equal to V into I. So we will use this formula V into I to get the values of this Q in this table. And now for T hot phase and T cold phase, for T hot phase, we have formula T3 minus inside bracket T2 minus T3 over 2, and for cold phase we have the formula T6 plus inside bracket T6 minus T7 over 2. So these are value for temperature T1, T2, T3, T6, T7. These are all given. We have got these values from the experiment. So we will use these values to calculate the T hot phase and cold phase. And when we will take the difference of this T hot phase and cold phase, we will get this delta T. So we will place the value of delta T into this table, and we have four set of values. So we will calculate the four different set of calculations. We will get the values of Q, T hot phase, cold phase, and delta T. And now finally we will measure the value of this K by using this formula. We have the value of Q, delta X, area, and this delta T. We will put all of these values. We will get the value of thermal conductivity. So in this table, we will get the 4 or 5 values of thermal conductivity, and we will perform the statistical analysis from all of these values. But now at this stage, we have the values of thermal conductivity for all of the materials in our literature. So we will compare this our measured value with the literature, with the value in the literature, and we will find the name of this material. So now for further statistical analysis, we have got the 4 values, and it is not essential. You can measure 5 to 6 values of this K to perform the statistical analysis. And what is statistical analysis? This is actually your theoretical value of K minus experimental. Mean you will get the theoretical value from the literature, and experimental value you have measured. You will divide this theoretical value, you will get the percentage of error. Now we have got 4 to 5 values or 3 values, whatsoever is the number. This X is representing the value of K. So you will add all of the values of K and divide by their number, and then you will get the average value. And for the standard deviation, you will get the you will use this formula. You will this X1 is basically K1, X2 is K2, and X3 is K3, and so on. If you are using K4 also, then you will use it in formula. So you will subtract the values of average from these first value, second, and third value. You will get their squares, divide it by n minus 1. N is the number of observations what you have taken, and you will just get their square root. And it is the value of standard deviation. It will show that how reliable is your value. So now your final task for this objective is to draw a graph. You will draw the graph between temperature and distance from thermocouple. Mean from on this table, you will plot the graph of these all temperatures on y-axis, and you will take all of these distances on x-axis. So if you have 4 different set of values, then you will draw the 4 graphs of temperatures for all set of values. So now similarly, on the same way we will perform the objective 2. The readings are same, and this is again the same schematic diagram. You can see again these are all the values of temperature. You have measured T1, T2, T3, and up to T8. So now you just what you will do, you will calculate this Q, and that is obviously again the formula is V into I. Q is equal to V into I, and then this is delta T from 1 to 3. Mean you will just get this delta T 1 to 3 from T1 minus T3. you will subtract the value of temperature from third thermocouple from the first thermocouple. So we are just using one section from 1 to 3, and similarly this is hot section, as we already have mentioned. Similarly, for cold section, you will measure the value of delta T from 6 to 8, and you have the value of delta X from 1 to 3, it is 0.030, and you also have the value of this delta X from 6 to 8. These are all values are provided to us. So now you will take the ratio of this delta T from 1 to 3 over delta X 1 to 3 for this hot region, and similarly for cold region you will take this delta T over delta X, delta T from 6 to 8 to delta X from 6 to 8. So this is for cold region. And when you will divide both of these ratios by Q, you will get this column Q over delta T over delta X for 1 to 3, and Q over delta T from 6 to 8 over delta X for 6 to 8. So these values are for hot region, these values are for cold region, and after the result, these two values theoretically should be same. Theoretically these two values should be same, and if they are not same, then you will add into your comment section that why are these not same, because theoretically both of the values should be same. So these are all the calculations which I already have provided you. So for all statistical analysis, again you will take the value of theoretical and experimental, this is percentage error. And if you will take the four set of readings, then again you will take their average, whether it is 3 or 4, you will divide it by their number and you will get the average value, and similarly you will measure the standard deviation for this objective. So that was all about the experiment lab session number 1 for heat and mass transfer. We will use the Fourier law heat equation to measure the thermal conductivity and to verify the Fourier law. So and that's all for lab session 1. Thank you very much.